How did I get programmed? How come I was programmed for failure? How come was I programmed for um, things not working out for me? What happened? How did it happen? Did I know when it was happening or not? Because I'm telling you the truth and I really mean it. That things you just begin to see that if failure wants to happen, it will always happen to you. You will always see yourself going to read places that will not come out in your exams. And I'm trying to tell you that it's a mindset thing. It's a mindset thing. Now, there are three places where we got programmed from. Number one, it was we were modeled into what we are now, probably by our parents or by our role model. Our parents laid down some examples for us. They told us some things that, son, daughter, if you don't work hard, you will not achieve this thing. Are you seeing it? Number two, you were programmed based on your experience. Have you ever heard that experience is the best teacher? Well, it's true. Why? Because your brain immediately takes that information and print it in your head as permanent. That information gets stored in your long-term memory. So you learn most of the time from your experiences. And then number three, you learn from situations. There are some challenges that you will face that will make you into someone that you are not. So if you have struggled failing from primary school up to secondary school, there's high chances that you will fail in the university even if you try reading hard, because it is no more an action problem, it has become a mental problem, a mind problem, I mean to say. Are you getting me? So these three things are what is responsible for what we are passing through, our mindset. We are modeled by either our role model, by media, or by our parents. Some of us, our parents told us, son, read hard, oh, read hard, oh. This world, there is no place for people like you. You can never be great in life. You are a fool. Words like that program our mind for failure. Do you get it? Some of us have been programmed for poverty, and it's true. Oh my God, it's true. Every wrong investment is what you choose. You choose the wrong friends, you choose everything that you choose is wrong. You are programmed for wrong things. So that is where we are programmed from. So how do we begin to change that program? It's very easy. It's called consciousness. I know you have heard it before, but how does it work? Now, you must ensure that you observe every action, every emotion, every reaction in any situation, in any circumstance you find yourself. You must make sure you actively look at what you are doing. Observe the way you act. It's called metacognition. Do you get? It's called metacognition, where you think about what you are thinking. So you try to observe yourself. Don't be biased. There's what called confirmation bias. Don't worry about that one. It simply means that you mostly agree with things that you have related with before. So if you know 4 times 4 is 8, though it's wrong, but because you have believed so, if somebody else comes and say 4 times 4 is 8, you believe it, even if the right answer is 16. So if they say money cannot buy happiness, because you have heard it before and you agree with it, if somebody comes and say money can buy happiness, guess what? You will be doubtful of that information. That's what they call confirmation bias. So let me go back to what I'm saying. So how do you reprogram your brain? Number one, consciously observe your actions, consciously observe your reactions, your thought pattern. And why you are doing that is because you want to identify a pattern in what you do. Some of you, do I have my book with me? Some of you, if I give you a book now, for example, this is a jotter, by the way, I'm using it for example. If you have an exam to read, as you are reading, I want you to think of something. What are you thinking of? Some of you, now you are reading page 1, and then something will come to your head. What if the questions don't come out from page 1? You see that mindset? Note it. Note that mindset that is telling you that thing. What if I read well and then I wrote well and I still failed? Note down that mindset. Do you understand? So in as much as you are acting out some things, in as much as you are doing some things, you are reacting to situations. How do you react? When somebody insults you, how do you react? Note it down, because you want to change it. So you must be able to identify that program in your head. That is the first point you should note. If you cannot identify that program, you won't be able to change it. So you must check, are you programmed for failure? Are you programmed for bad things to always happen to you? Are you programmed for poverty? You must ensure that you know all these things. Check your friends around you. Be conscious of it. And what you're trying to do, as I said, is to identify patterns. Whenever you want to read for an exam, the thought of failure always comes to your mind. Guess what? You know where that thing is coming from. Have you gotten this part? Now, if you have gotten the part, the next thing is to do is to check your habits, your routines. Check it. Are they how will I say it? Let me try and explain in a way that you understand. Have you heard there's a book called 7 Habits of Highly Successful People? Or is it something like that? Of highly effective. My point is, the way rich men behave or the way millionaires behave, are you behaving that way? The habit of a poor man, do you take on the habit of a poor man? Do you take on the habits of a distinction student? You begin to note all those ones, which means you must know how a distinction student behaves. So you must have a parameter that you check in order to know how you behave, whether you are really behaving according to the way you are supposed to behave. Do you understand? Now, the next thing I want you to do in order to locate that thing, or in order to solve it, that problem, that program in your head, in order to solve it, the next thing you should do, please take it serious. Please take it very, very serious. How do you change this mindset? Number one, I said it before, declaration. There is nothing that is as strong as making a declaration. Stand up, look at yourself in the mirror, and say, as from today, I will behave this way. And you consciously act on what you are saying. Do you understand? I will say it again so that you will get it. Consciously make a decision today that you begin to behave like somebody who wants to come out with distinction from school, or from like somebody who wants to be rich in future, who wants to develop himself personally. Do you understand? And you are taking this decision based on the knowledge that you have gotten so far. Then number two is you must be ready to go against your emotions. Listen to me. You are where you are because of your emotions. What if you feel like not doing it? That is, you must you must overcome that feeling. That feeling is what is keeping you where you are. Do you get it? The next thing I want you to apply is what they call feedback loop. It simply means when you take an action that is against your thoughts, and that is against your emotions, and that is against your habit, you will check out the result, and then you will analyze the result. Does it make you a better person, or it still keeps you in the midst of that program that you have been functioning in? So it's called a feedback loop. The reason why I'm telling you to take that one serious is because there's what we call learning cycle. Now, the reason why your habits became involuntary, that's the word. The reason why your habit became involuntary was simply because you did it so much that you don't have to think about it. And then it became a habit. That's how habits are formed. So that feedback loop is what you must start taking. You must start taking knowledge-based steps. You make it a routine until that becomes your new program. In other words, the actions you take backed up by knowledge is what gives you a new program. I'll say it again. The actions you take backed up by knowledge, powered by knowledge, is what gives you a new program. So you want to have success in academics. What are you supposed to do? Look at the habits of a distinction student. Go online, go and read, expand your knowledge. Make a decision today that you will change your mind, that you will change the way you think, that you will change the way you react to things. Do you understand? Because you want to take up the habit that will give you what you want. Because wisdom is profitable to direct. If your method is not producing the results you are looking for, change it. Pick up the habits of successful people. Pick up the habits of millionaires. Pick up the habits of distinction students. and take knowledge powered steps. That is how you change your mind. But first, you must stand and reprogram your mind with a statement of declaration that as from today, I am becoming better than I am currently. And the next thing I want you to do is to record the steps you took and the transformation that is taking place in you. The moment you do this, your life will never remain the same. I guarantee you. That is how you reprogram your mind. If you can do this, you if you can do this, you have been programmed for success, not just in academics, but in life. Thank you very much for watching.